PTI, and I am a huge fan of Tony Kornheiser. Really big fan. He looks like they're ready to embalm him. What is he, 75 now?
He's got to be
Yeah,
that.
he's up there.
We'll try to do a better job tomorrow. Goodbye. Good night, Canada. He's got the flag up.
Yeah.
Enough. Enough. Come up with something new. You have not. You are the worldwide leader in sports, and you have not had a creative idea in 20 years. Am I wrong?
And welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of the TV show podcast. My name is Jay Black, joined as always by the lovely and talented Rhea Hughes and the talented Angelo Cataldi. Angelo sounds better thanks to our new producer. Well, our new old producer, Jared Clapper. He was just yelling at me last week. He said, I got the mic set up, Jay. How do I sound? And, you know, it's like one of those things where when people ask you, is it better? Like when you go to the eye doctor and they say, is it better? And you go, yeah, I think it is. I said, yeah, it sounds better. And the mic wasn't on, but now it is on.
But let me just state that you are a moron.
That's true.
And I am just as bad a one since I hadn't turned it on after it was all set up. Again, proving by process of elimination that Rhea uses the brains of this operation.
Yes, she's
very sad. I couldn't figure out how to turn mine on, so what am I doing?
Well, Rhea is smarter than us, but still not super smart because she's still hanging out with us. A really smart person would be cartwheel right out of this situation. All right, so let's jump right into something, Angelo, that you were talking about. And I think this is a very interesting case study because there was a moment right after the 40-year-old Virgin, which was 20 years ago, where Steve Carell, who was on The Office, and by the way, they were going to cancel The Office. A lot of people don't know this. In between season 1 and season 2, they were going to cancel The Office. But then NBC got an early cut of the 40-year-old Virgin. And they said, oh, wow, Steve Carell is about to become a superstar. We would be stupid to lose him now, because this movie's going to be huge. So they kept The Office on. 40-year-old Virgin comes out. Steve Carell is now a bankable, gigantic movie star. He is a bankable, gigantic TV star. Good-looking guy, funny guy, on the precipice of superstardom. And then kind of nothing really happens after that. There's a bunch of misfires, some middling comedies, some middling dramas, never really catches on as a big star in comedy, never really catches on as a big dramatic star, goes back to TV a couple of times in the morning show, Space Force, and now the Four Seasons. None of them really connect. And, you know, it's not that the guy isn't super talented. Angelo Cataldi, what happened to Steve Carell in his career?
I forced this topic at the top of the agenda for a very simple reason, because I was watching the Four Seasons, the TV version.
Yes.
And through it all, through all the episodes that Steve was in, I just kept scratching my head and going, why did he pick this awful project?
Yeah.
And then I realized, no, it's kind of a pattern of the last decade or so. All right. Before that, you mentioned, you know, Virgil, which was his big breakout movie. Before that, he was incredibly great on The Daily Show.
Yes.
And then a big star on The Office, a iconic TV program. And then he went out and he did Anchorman, which was fantastic.
Yep.
Foxcatcher, which was great. Date Night, his original project with Tina Fey.
Tina Fey.
Dan and Real Life, Little Miss Sunshine. He did a whole bunch of terrific films. Here's what he's done recently. Rhea, tell me if any of this is exciting to you. The Four Seasons, cartoon, another cartoon, you know, animated projects where, you know, they just use their voice. Asteroid City, The Patient, which I reviewed here, the whole TV series, he is in one room, chained to a bed. It's awful, all right? Another cartoon, Space Force, and the Titanic that has been the morning show. Have we laughed once at Steve Carell in the last 5 years? Either of you. Have you laughed once?
And that's the point, Ange. That's what he's like. You mentioned Dan in real life. I was just talking to my brother Michael right before we came on that. And he goes, "Oh my God, I thought that movie was a lot of fun. It helped having Juliette Binoche, I think is her name. Dane Cook was in it. I love that movie. And I thought he was great. He almost reminded me as kind of a different kind of a romantic lead, almost like why am I blanking on his name? When Harry Met Sally.
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
Not a traditional great looking guy, but funny. Little Miss Sunshine. Which, by the way, people, great movie. You should watch it. Absolutely phenomenal movie. He was great in that. Nothing. I mean, Foxcatcher, I know he was nominated for an Oscar. I don't think he won it. But like, go back to what you're really good at. And what you're good at, like Foxcatcher was good, but like I look at Steve Carell as he can do a little drama, but with the humor. I need the humor there for him because it's what he's good at.
Yeah,
there's a theory that comedians, when they become superstars, have a ticking clock next to their head, because part of comedy is being able to relate to regular people. And once you become a superstar, the ability to relate to regular people goes away, because you're no longer a regular person. You are a superstar. So, every great comedic actor, Chevy Chase, who had a string of hits, Eddie Murphy, who had a string of hits, Will Ferrell, who had a string of hits, that's usually right at the beginning of their career. They have that string of hits. And then as they become a superstar, they have to either turn into a dramatic actor, or they will become a middling comedic presence from that point forward. So maybe that is it possible, Angelo? That's what it is.
I really analyze this. I think there's two things going on here. One is his kind of projects, those funny movies, those romantic comedy type movies, they aren't made much anymore.
No.
So there's much less of a chance he would get a script that would fit what he does best in the world of superheroes that we now have with movies. And the second thing is, let's just be honest about it. He has always stunk at making decisions about his career, starting with leaving the office. Do you understand? Long after he's gone, the office will be the first thing he's remembered for. And he left it, abandoned it, with 3 seasons left. I guess he did 6 seasons, 5 or 6 seasons, and then he left. And then the show was never nearly as good because he was he was the fulcrum of the whole show. And when you make a dumb decision like that, we can almost expect that you're going to keep doing that. And all he's done the last 10 years, certainly the last 5, is pick one awful project after another instead of playing to his strengths. Come on, Steve, wake up.
And I also think with some comics, they feel the need, like, I got to do dramatic roles.
You're right.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, come on. I mean, Robin Williams did some great dramatic roles, but we all loved him for his zany characters.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say this, and Rhea, I don't know if you've seen this movie on the plane, because I flew out to Vegas and back. I just happened to rewatch Crazy Stupid Love, which is a Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell movie.
I did not see it.
It's a minor hit. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed that. So, it is possible to find some good stuff, but it's mixed in with the dreck. And that's why you listen to this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Very little dreck.
No dreck. We will tell you where the dreck is, though, especially today. I got a bunch of dreck today.
All right, Rhea, you are a sports expert. Angelo used to be, but he's no longer in the air. So we have been talking forever, and so has the industry, about ESPN, who is the cash cow for Disney. For the longest time, they were 100 million subscribers, getting $8 to $9 a month, regardless of if you watched. $1 billion a month just coming into Disney, just printing money. And in the last 10 years, as people have left cable, that cash cow has been skinnier and skinnier every year. And people have been saying, when is ESPN going to break out into its own streaming service? Well, Disney announced this week that it's coming. You can now get ESPN by itself, no cable necessary, for $4 a month. Wait, hold on. I'm reading that wrong. $30 a month. Now, Rhea, is this an acceptable price for the amount of sports and product that you get on just ESPN? Is $30 ridiculous or acceptable?
Well, somebody has to pay for our good friend Stephen A. Smith's salary. It, however, will not be me.
True.
We'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, I cut the cord, but I have a direct TV streamer that has ESPN. I can't see myself spending $30 a month. Like, I know Rich Eisen's going to be on it. I really like Rich Eisen.
Yeah, me
but
too.
I'm not spending. I have a lot of podcasts that I do watch that I subscribe to. They're like $3 or $5. I mean, they're manageable to my bottom line. $29 is not something I can foresee myself doing.
Angelo, $29 a month for college football. Are you in?
I've been trying not to analyze ESPN since it is the worldwide sports leader. All right, that they once called themselves that. And no, it's not worth $30. It's not worth the $10 that they're now charging through cable. And the fact of the matter is, let me give you an example. Rich Eisen's going back there.
Yeah.
Do they have no new ideas? Do they have no one they've developed in the last generation?
No.
Nothing wrong with Rich, but
he's really good. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
I didn't realize until they announced it was going off that the show Around the Horn was still on.
Yeah.
That has been a corpse on TV for 10 years.
Yeah.
I know it's been on for 20, but who watched Around the Horn? PTI, and I am a huge fan of Tony Kornheiser. Really big fan. He looks like they're ready to embalm him. What is he, 75 now?
He's got to be that.
Yeah. We'll try to do a better job tomorrow. Goodbye. Good night, Canada. He's got the flag up. Yeah. Enough. Come up with something new. You are the worldwide leader in sports, and you have not had a creative idea in 20 years. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
They brought Chris Russo back, to go on with Stephen A. on First Take, because they're just two personalities that people will watch. They haven't created the next wave.
And here's the thing, too. We all know, because we have been around the block a few times, that the starting price is never where it stays.
No.
Right.
It starts cheap. At least in their mind, it starts cheap. And then it moves up to, like, Netflix was $9.99 a month. Now it's 22 or whatever it is. Yeah. ESPN Plus was $4.95. Disney Plus was $9.95. This thing is going to go to $40 to $50 within half a decade.
For what, Jay? For what? Even the games they cover, right? Like they do what, Sunday night, Monday night? They do Monday night.
Monday night.
They ruin them. They ruin most of the games with inappropriate. Just read Phil Mushnick. He evaluates a lot how badly they do a game and how they always throw stuff at you that you don't want instead of just watching the game. When you watch Sunday Night Baseball, are they doing a better job than your local people are doing?
No,
they're not even close.
No.
There's nothing they do well. And the only reason that they have managed to be successful for all these years is because they have had a monopoly on sports. Right. They have had the monopoly, and all the other people, CBS tried it, NBC tried it, Fox has tried it, to come in with their own, and they haven't been able to do it. But frankly, they haven't been good in a really long time, and I wouldn't pay a dime for it. Never mind $30.
I do need to say that I do think that there's something about an ESPN where you're just flipping along the channels and you catch a game that you might not have done as appointment viewing, that you go, all right, well, I'll stick around. I'll watch the rest of this. I only bring this. Yeah. And I only bring this up because my T-Mobile subscription for my phone gives me free MLB and Major League Soccer. So I have the MLB package and I have the Major League Soccer package for free. Can't get local teams, but other than that, I have never once turned on Major League Baseball.
I didn't think
or
you
Major
would.
League Soccer. Not once. Now, I'm not a big sports guy, but like occasionally I get an update on my phone, like, hey, do you want to watch the Pittsburgh Pirates playing anybody?
No, they suck.
And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good, phone. Thank you. I do think that there's like getting sort of obscure college sports or getting like teams that you're not interested in is good when you're flipping channels. I don't think anybody makes appointment viewing to watch a random college game on a Saturday afternoon. And I think that's a problem with the streamer personally. You got to get back to flipping for that to matter.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Rhea, I'm going to start with you on this subject because I know that Angelo, not a fan of current Conan O'Brien. Yes. He hates that show. I just wanted to bring up the fact that Conan O'Brien was announced this week as one of the leads in the new Toy Story movie, which is, a gigantic franchise. He was recently honored with the Mark Twain Award for American Humor. The video's on Netflix if you want to watch it. He's got one of the most popular podcasts in the world. I don't even want to speculate. He's probably making more money on that podcast than he ever made on television. He's got a third season of a show on HBO. He just hosted the Oscars. He's probably going to be back to host next year because everybody loved him. Guy's in his mid-60s, and it seems like he's having a moment here.
Yes.
I just got to ask, can you think of anybody else that has had a late career moment like this? And what's going on with Conan? Why is he suddenly so beloved because he's the last of a network star that doesn't exist? Well, I'm starting with Rhea, Angelo.
I know.
After Rhea.
Clearly, he's in pain. Well, see, this is the reason Angelo doesn't like Conan O'Brien, because he does smart humor. So therefore, Angelo doesn't like it.
Maybe.
I've always liked him. And what I was reading about Conan, that he says the internet saved him, basically. After, he lost his show, and he's been able to, he was one of the first to figure out, connect directly with the audience.
Right.
Because if the audience wants to watch me, they'll seek me out on the internet. And I think, Angelo, I'm with you. The travel show he did was terrible. I didn't care for that at all. But I thought he was really good at the Oscars.
Me too.
Because, he didn't viciously go after. He was funny. It was just like, do a funny show, move it along, and everything will be fine. But yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody. I can't think of somebody right off the top of my head, but I like Conan's humor. I always have liked it. So I think it's just, and Angelo clearly does not.
I'm a huge Conan fan. Tell me why I'm wrong, Angelo.
First of all, it's not that I don't like it. He does a lot of awkward stuff, which I love because I'm awkward myself. But the fact of the matter is, first of all, let's really give his bio, all right? He had in his hands the greatest comedic showcase in the history of television, The Tonight Show. And he didn't last a year because people weren't watching it because it sucked when he was on it. He's a 12:30 at night comic. That's what it is. As for the travel show, it's unwatchable. Here's why I know Jay Black is a freaking hypocrite. All right. Jay Black hasn't watched that show.
I haven't, no.
He haven't. I knew it. If he loved this guy the way he just introduced him to you, he would have watched the guy's travel show, which, by the way, Rhea, is back. It's just come back for.
I'm shocked because it was really bad. It was really bad.
It's awful, right? The Oscar thing that Jay is telling you he's so great at, he's going to come back. If he comes back, it's only because he didn't alienate people. He wasn't funny. Compare him to Steve Martin when he did it, or before that, Johnny Carson, or Bob Hope. People that really did that show. Billy Crystal was great at it. This guy was lousy. It was not. He did not enhance the broadcast one bit.
Now, see, he was not lousy. You're going.
He wasn't great. Was he great?
I thought he was very good.
I thought he was great.
Please. He's got one basic problem. I analyze this for you, and the reason that Conan O'Brien is not doing well, even though Jay just said he's got a moment.
He's having a moment.
All right, he's got a moment. All right. Is because he happens to be a comic who is no longer funny. It is very hard to continue to succeed if you are selling humor and you don't provide any. He's not good. And I know, Jay, I can't wait to send me the latest tweets or whatever the hell we get to tell me how wrong I am. I'm not wrong. Just look at the numbers he had when he ran the Tonight Show. People don't think he's funny. Jay Leno was better.
Oh no, I will not accept that. I will not accept that.
You're a comedy snob, Jay. Jay, you're a comedy snob.
Anybody who's seen my act knows I'm not a comedy snob. No. I'll just say this about the travel show. I have not watched it, but that is only because there's only one travel show that has ever been fantastic, and that's Anthony Bourdain. Nobody has done it better than him, and nobody ever will. I loved Anthony Bourdain, so I cannot
agree with you there. Anthony Bourdain, it was a brilliant entertainer and food guy.
And I'll tell you what, hell of a writer too. His books were great.
Did it all.
But Angelo, I disagree with your assessment of Conan, but I do want to hear from our fans. There's a little link if you go into our podcast description that says, send us a text. Tell Angelo whether or not you agree with him. We read all of it. I'll forward it along.
He's not funny.
All right. Well, you know what? Angelo Catati might not like Conan O'Brien, but there is one person that Angelo unabashedly loves, and that very few people can say that in this world. Who do you love, Angelo?
Well, you just said it about Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Creme de la creme.
The best.
The role model by which all others are measured. In jewelry, especially in Philadelphia, that's Steven Singer. And the reason why it's Steven Singer is, like Anthony Bourdain, who understood his audience, Steven understands his. Yeah. So he went, you know what? People who buy jewelry, they don't want to hear all this mumbo jumbo. They don't want to hear about this big sale you're having. They want to look at a piece of jewelry, which they probably don't really understand, be told the truth about it, and be offered it at a fair price. It's such a basic thing. And yet here he is, 50 years after he started in this business, one of the great success stories of jewelry. And it's simple, because if you treat the people that are your customers, are going to be your customers, with respect, they will respond by being loyal. That's simple. There's nobody better than Steven Singer Jewelers.
Yeah, and the one thing Angela said about that, what I have friends who will call me and go, hey, can you make a call for me to Steven Singer and let them know I'm coming from you? And I said, yeah, I'll be happy to do that for you. But you never have to be intimidated walking into Steven Singer Jewelers. His people are fantastic. They're not there to beat you up. They're there to help you get something for yourself, get that beautiful ring for the special woman in your life, get a graduation present. They're all coming up. But I'm just telling you, it's the least intimidating jewelry place you'll ever go into. You'll actually enjoy being there.
Steven Singer,
the corner of 8th and Walnut. I hate StevenSinger.com. Just check them out. You'll see what we're talking about.
And if anybody from my family's listening, I want a giant medallion encrusted in diamonds with the letter J on it. I'm going to wear it around my neck. Please, that's all I want. It'll be classy. We always thank Steven Singer for sponsoring us. Fantastic. And there's another fantastic segment. I put all the best segments right in the middle because I'm smart like that. Rhea Hughes, what do you got for us this week on British television?
So I have it's actually an Australian show, I've reviewed it before. I reviewed season 1, Black Snow. And for some reason, I think you can get it on Acorn, but I've been watching it on AMC. I don't know why. I think that's where I was flipping around. I was in AMC, which I occasionally find some really good shows, by the way. People are interested. AMC does have some good shows. So it's the second season. I found season 1 okay. Season 2 is awesome. And it's irritating at the same time because they gave me the first 2 and they're dropping them every week. So it's a detective show. This detective is investigating. This girl went missing 20 years ago on the night of her 21st birthday. And, you're trying to figure out who did it. There's all kinds of, there's great red herrings that they're dropping. The woman he's working with, the police officer on the force, was her best friend. So that adds a really interesting element because, some people don't believe she's dead. Some people believe she just skipped town. But I love it. And the new one drops today and I can't watch it today because I have too much stuff to do. So I have to wait till tomorrow. It's terrific. The only thing I will say I don't like about it is they've included this backstory of the detective's family, that his father just got out of jail for murdering his mother 20 years ago, and his brother, who he thought was dead, might not be dead. Whenever that piece, I hate when stories do this. Whenever that part of the story comes on, my mind starts to wander, going, when can we get back to the real interesting part of this? And Ange, it goes back to your greater point. I'm 6 episodes in. I have a couple left. They could have shortened this to probably 4 or 5 if they had not included the bits about the father. It should, the father and the brother. I have no interest in it because the story, the mystery is phenomenal. It's called Black Snow. You can access it on AMC or Acorn.
All right, Black Snow. By the way, that was also when I was a rapper / cocaine dealer. Black Snow was my nickname. A lot of people don't know that. Works so well. Angelo.
It's a really bad dad joke, by the way.
Hey, well, look at the shirt I'm wearing. I'm a bad dad. What can I say? Angelo, what do you got for us this week?
All right. I just want to review because I want to give people some great stuff if you haven't been caught up. Funny, The Rehearsal is redefining television right now. You got to check it out. There's only one more episode. They've done 5 now. They drop 1 a week on HBO Max. And I'm telling you, Nathan Fielder's a genius. The studio is just great. It's
awesome.
Just awesome. It had one stinker of an episode, but all the rest of them have been brilliantly funny using this one shot. They're doing so much tracking stuff and doing it brilliantly. Seth Rogen and Your Friends and Neighbors is just terrific. I don't think Jon Hamn was as good in Mad Men as he is in this.
That's high praise.
Kind of funny here too. He's got more. It's a broader character, and he's brilliant in it. Couple of other quickies. One is, if you're looking for a good movie right now, it's right up Rhea's alley. It's called Black Bag, and it's on Peacock, and it stars Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett. Wow. They are spies who are married and deeply in love. And basically what the story is about. It's directed brilliantly by Steven Soderbergh. Nobody's better than Steven. He's great, all right? And the thing is, what's more important when you're a spy? Your career, where you're always up, you're risking life and death, or your love for your spouse? And it wrestles with it brilliantly. It's really well done. And here's the best part. 1 hour and 33 minutes.
Love
Soderbergh
that.
did it. He told the story, Rhea, with none of the bells and whistles. And the other thing, I can only just give you my first reaction to it. It's brand new on HBO Max. Duster is the name of it, and it's 1972, and this guy is a getaway driver who drives a red Duster, and I'm good. Just going to say, I'm not really familiar with the work of Josh Holloway, who's the guy who plays the driver, or the FBI agent that he ends up getting partnered with, Rachel Hilson. But first episode, Max, they only give you one at a time. I'm sorry, HBO Max.
HBO Max.
They only give you one at a time. Duster looks like it could be a really good watch. That's what I got.
And that feels like a throwback to 70s TV.
Yeah.
Where like you could just do a whole show based on a car and a dude.
Yes. It is.
This guy drives a nice car and he's also a detective. And they're like, we'll order 700 episodes of that, please. That sounds great.
Starsky and Hutch.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, Angelo, just to the Nathan Fielder thing, I'm seeing more and more memes. I saw a thing on Reddit where somebody had a picture of 2 pilots talking to each other, and the caption was, "It's working, Nathan. It's working. They're communicating more," which is just great.
He's crazy, man.
All right, so I'm going to just end on one note here. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Wolves on Apple TV Plus. It is a George Clooney, Brad Pitt movie. And I'm going to give it a B-. It is a fun little caper picture about 2 fixers who both show up at the same scene of a problem. Someone is dead and they need to clean it up, but neither of them know each other and they don't know why they've both been called to this. So they got to work together even though they don't want to, and they also got to figure out what the mystery is. I watched this movie. It was a fun little caper. And at the end, I was like, I'm going to talk about this on the show because it's so nice to see a $40 to $50 million movie that you don't see anymore. You don't see stuff like this anymore. Mid-range movie. Let me just get a sense of what the actual budget was. And then I looked it up. It was $200 million. It was a night in New York. There's 8 speaking roles in this movie. 8. That's it. 8 people talk. Now, I understand you got to pay Brad Pitt and George Clooney a lot of money.
You got to pay both of them $50 million. That's $100 million right there.
But that's still $100 million way too much for the rest of the movie. I would love if people have seen this movie or have the opportunity to check it out. And you tell me if this movie does not exist as a Russian money laundering operation. There's no other explanation as to how this thing cost $200 million. Wow. There's hardly any action in it. They talk the whole movie.
Here's the thing, Jay. First of all, B-. I watched the first 30 minutes of it, all right? Yeah. Where they encounter each other and realize they have the same assignment.
Yeah.
The reason they paid $100 million or $50 million to each of these guys is because they knew when they read the script, it sucked.
It didn't suck.
This is not a B-. It's a
B-.
D+, maybe just a D. I mean,
my God.
You got 2 big names to sell and no script with it. It's stupid. All right. Did you ever teach, Jay? Because if you did, everybody would like to go to your class.
I did. I taught for 7 years and I never gave less than an A+.
That I believe. I do believe that.
No, in Angelo's defense, I quickly looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score. Critics 67, 72 for audience. That's not a B-, Jay.
In Rotten Tomato world, that's not terrible.
Right.
You know, Angelo, you and I have to talk about this at some point. I think the 2 movie stars being on screen, immediately you started a C+. I just like seeing movie stars talking. Real movie stars. Brad Pitt, George Clooney, they ooze charm. I'm just happy watching them be on my screen.
When they did Ishtar, and they had Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman. They started with a C+.
I'm going to tell you right now, Ishtar, go back and watch it. That is a
highly
B+
underrated.
movie.
Highly
underrated.
No,
highly underrated. Elaine May directed that movie.
Garbage.
It's fantastic. It was a victim of its own bad press. Go back and watch with uncritical eyes, Angelo, and you.
Yeah, if I watch it, I'll do what I did with Wolf. I want to hurt myself.
All right, what did we talk about this weekend?
We were talking about Steve Carell. If you want to see his latest stinker, it's called The 4 Seasons on Netflix. Conan O'Brien Must Go. At least I like the title because it's right. That is available season 2 now on HBO Max. Black Snow is available on AMC. Yep. Rhea says it's better season 2 than it was season 1. I told you, check out The Rehearsal on HBO Max, Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple, The Studio also on Apple, Duster is on HBO Max, and Black Bag is on Peacock. And again, if you want to see a waste of $200 million, Wolf's is now available on Apple Plus.
You can find Angelo Cataldi's book Loud on Amazon.com, Audible.com, and also AngeloCataldi.com. Check out that book. Find out how Angelo got right here to this spot. Everybody wants to know. You can check out Rhea Hughes, the downward slide of Angelo's career that lands him here. Rhea Hughes, you can watch her be on the radio on YouTube every single day. So seek her out. Make sure you visit our sponsor, StevenSinger.com, and make sure you check out Tenants right now on Tubi. I produced that movie, and I can tell you it costs significantly less than $200 million. So we need your help getting that money back. And guys, we will be here next week with more great TV talk. Thanks for joining.